Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Kathy at Attic Treasures, etc. And it's Scrap Busting Saturday, so I thought what we would do is play with Rolodex cards. Maybe you see these at thrift stores or garage sales. I think I got this at Value Village. And look at this, is a treasure trove of scrap busting fodder that will keep you busy forever. So I've made a few, I've used a few in journals, and then I have some just waiting to be used in journals. So here's an example of one. What I usually do is I use them as pockets, but you can use them as flip outs or whatever, journal cards. So these happen to have some writing on the back, or lines rather on the back, that's convenient for writing. So you just can just find these random scraps of stuff that you have laying around and put them together, and you have these fun little journal cards or pockets or what have you. This one just has some of this wrapping paper on it that I haven't really done anything else with. So why don't we go ahead and get started and play with a couple of these. So I'll just grab two. When I saw these at the thrift store, I was sort of debated on whether or not I would use them, but they're a lot of fun to work with, so I grabbed them, and I'm glad I did. Okay, so I've got these two, and I'm going to bring out my trusty phone book page for my glue mat. As you can see, I've already used it for that. And we can go ahead and get started, and there's no right or wrong or rhyme or reason or anything like that with these. You just collage on them whatever way you like. So you can just start grabbing through your scraps and just go for it. Let's see, I've got some wallpaper there, a little bit of decorative edge. I've got a little bit of map tape. Well, let's see, some music sheet. Just whatever you have. I like the insides of an envelope. Some more scrap paper. I'd even use that side because it kind of goes with that map. Book page. Map book page. Some more envelope innards. Okay, so why don't we get started? Hope I don't make too big of a mess, but if I do, you know what? It cleans up. What's everybody up to today? My husband's been out working in the yard. It is spring, and the yard definitely knows it. I love it when I drop stuff. I'll put this on this one because I can hang it over the edge. These have a curved edge on them. I'm trying just to sort of cover it up. Basically what I'm doing right now is just putting down layers. And then we can build on them later. Finally had some nice weather, which has been great, although what I did, I just glued it to the page. It does mean that my husband has to mow more often. But, you know, at least we have a yard to mow. We're not always entirely happy about that. Put this like that. Maybe it won't stick. Like this one just did. Okay. I'm really trying to be random about this and not think too much about how it's going together, because ultimately I think it's more fun that way. And it becomes more of an organic project. You can do mixed media on these if you like that sort of thing, which I think is kind of fun. I like doing that with journal cards. Let's put you over here like that. Hope you can see what I'm doing. Just like that. Since we went digital and paperless for everything, I keep getting this fun stuff in the mail. I don't know why all of my bills aren't paperless, because I definitely signed up for it. But whoops, let's keep you back on there. As long as they're willing to send me free crafting supplies, I'll keep using them. Okay, we'll trim that guy in a second. If you're like me, you get excited whenever you get extra Amazon packaging. Every time we finish a pad of note paper, a notepad or whatever, and I can use the backing piece, that's a good day. I get teased about it, but I don't care. Free crafting supplies, what can be better? Okay, well, we can use a little bit of this map. Okay. I'm going to trim around it. You can do these with index cards too. And you end up with, depending on the size index card that you use, you can end up with mini master boards or journal cards or pockets or whatever. And if you just put a base layer down like this, and then save it for when you're ready to use it in a journal, then you can embellish it whatever way you think fits best in the particular journal that you're working on. So I think these are looking really good so far. Let me get some of this stuff off my desk here. What I like to do with these, or what I've started doing with things like this, is taking some of the collage medium and doing a layer of collage medium over the top. So I'm gonna grab my distressed collage medium, which I like. You can use Mod Podge too, or clear gesso. I've done both. And what that does is that it keeps all of the pieces in place. And I like that better since I started using it for this purpose. It just seems like my collages work a lot better. Things kind of stay put. And it gives it a nice thick, nice seal surface too. And you can either let this air dry or dry it with a heat tool. Make you go down that way. And when this collage medium dries, it dries matte, and you can print on it, or stamp on it rather, whatever you like. Okay, but now I think I'm going to dry it. Okay, now the next step is, what do we want to embellish it with? Or do we want to stamp on it? Do we want to ink the edges up? The sky's the limit here. So I think what I would like to do first is ink the edges. And I usually go with vintage photo, but I'm going to maybe do something different. Got some evergreen bough here. Kind of brings out some of the blue a little bit. Okay. Now let's grab maybe some postage. I've got red, or let's maybe stay in the blue and the green realm today. That's kind of cool. Maybe that one. Can make a little cluster here. With some of my cluster things. Do you guys have cluster things? I have cluster things. Okay, I kind of like that. And that one's cute. Little birds on there. Okay, well, I'm making this too hard, so we're just gonna start with this. Grab my tiny attacher. take this little bird and give him a little bit of an edge. Okay. I'm just going to go with it. Do I want him underneath? Maybe like that? Yeah, why not? Sometimes I just end up overthinking it and regretting it later. Put that little flower there with the little notes on there. Okay, this one might need a little something more, but I haven't decided what yet. But for now, I'm gonna go with it. This one, I keep wanting to use this collage paper. Let me grab a flower or something. Oh, I like that. Oh, I can't quite make him fit. I mean, obviously I'd have to cut it off, but I'm just trying to figure out how many little leaves I need to lose. How about like that? And this one can come off. I think. I can stay on. Well, I'll put them on like this and then maybe cut them off after. How about this first? And I keep, whoops, here we go. I keep a jar of my thread that I've used up, you know, cut off and what have you. And sometimes I like to just bunch it up and put it on my, whatever it is I'm making, just for a little bit of texture. Okay, probably like that. And then maybe I can put this guy over there. Yeah, that's the ticket. Little stamp. I'm gonna give the stamp a little distressing, which you can barely see because it's already that shade. Okay, let's get him on there first. And we'll do this. Kind of smush it down and put this guy on. use our glitter glue for that one. The only problem with these tiny little things is trying to get glue on everything. That's where I wish I had a cartridge in my little Xyron sticker maker at the moment. Okay, I like some loose threads, but not this long. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim around the edges a little bit. That'll dry just fine. And I'm gonna leave this little hang off thing until I figure out how I'm gonna use the card in a journal. Okay, what did I do with the pin? Oh, here it is. Okay, so here's two of these little Rolodex cards. Now, one thing that you can do is maybe sew on a little tab at the top, like so, or just leave it plain. Again, this is something that I like to wait to do until I know how I'm going to use the card. So another thing that you can do with these is stitch around them or put on some faux stitching like this. And then that looks nice. This is something that's easy to do. I normally do like to stitch around it, but I didn't think of it. So, with trusty pen in hand, not to worry. Okay, and I added the other part of the leaf that I cut off of here, I put in here just to give it a little bit more finished look right there. Okay, now that's a wrap, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Join me again on the next video. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. Would love to have you, and hope everyone's going to have a great rest of your day. Thanks, everybody. See you soon. Bye.